Hey everyone, it's C4 Sages back again with another Resident Evil 4 remake video. I uploaded a video a couple of hours ago where I shared a few of my final thoughts about the demo, but admittedly I wasn't very happy with the video, and I sort of wanted to re-record the video with some dialogue in the background and just showing some gameplay, because there's a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about. To me, even though I said in the original video that I didn't think it was a perfect demo, I don't think there is anything like a perfect demo. I think this demo did everything it possibly could to make me excited about the game. I was already excited for Resident Evil 4 Remake based on everything we saw, based on everything that has been shown through the trailers and how the devs have been talking about the game. I was already sold, and then to actually play it, to actually have it in your hand, to actually move Leon, like playing Resident Evil 4, a new Resident Evil 4 in 2023 is still, it's still kind of unbelievable that it exists and that we're literally about 10 days away from the full game coming out. But just to go back to the demo was absolutely fantastic. Although I wish it was a little bit longer, that's very nitpicky. I think what the demo did, it did really well. We got to see everything, the gameplay, the way, a little bit of the, not necessarily the story, but we got to see some cutscenes. We got to see a little bit of everything. We got to see what the villagers are like. We got to basically that first rush of fear that you get when you play a Resident Evil 4 game, which is the village section. I put a rating on it in the last, the video I had up earlier, but honestly, man, it was a fantastic demo experience. I mean, there's nothing else I can say other than it was fantastic. And I guess I also want to spend a little bit of time just talking about what I really enjoyed about the demo. I think for me, like the original game, when you first play Resident Evil 4 OG, it takes a little while to kind of get used to the controls, right? Because this was like one of the first, if not the first, Resident Evil game outside of like the original games where, everything was tank controls and everything was like on a set camera, meaning when you move to a new area, there would be a different, you'd see a different angled camera position. Whereas in this game, it was like, I can turn 360, I can move around, I don't have tank controls anymore, I can move forward, I can move back, I can do a quick turn. Like this demo, you're very much figuring out the gameplay, you're figuring out how everything works, and basically everything works just like the OG game, right? Like the knife placement is in a right place, right? I think it's L1, if I recall correctly. I think they expanded everything, so Leon feels exactly how he does in the OG, except he's a bit heavier, and he feels like, not to say he didn't feel like a real person before, but this Leon, he feels more alive. He interacts with the bushes when he's moving around. When he sees like dead body or just something that looks gross, he reacts to it. He reacts to everything. So the character Leon himself just feels way more alive, and this world feels way more alive. And I think that's what I loved about the demo, was the atmosphere of the game. It was clearly very scary, and although RE4 is notoriously like a scary game, there are some scary parts of the full game, and and it can occasionally be scary for some people, not for me personally, because it is very much like an action game, right? You have a lot of tools, and you have a lot of weapons and stuff to really just blaze through the game pretty confidently. You're never out of resources. There are times in Resident Evil 4 where you can be out of resources, and it does feel like, damn, I'm kind of stuck here, I don't know what to do. But regardless of that, the atmosphere in the remake, at the very least in the demo, was fantastic, and it was scary at times, and I was fearful at some parts. Like I know during my first playthrough of the demo, I was kind of nervous to go through that first door that you encounter, that's in the right of you, where you find that that woodcut insignia that says, I forget what it translates. It might show up on the screen. I think it means like death is nigh or something like that, or death is near, or I forget what it translates to. But I think overall the atmosphere was great. And the gameplay was fantastic. I mean, the new thing that we have in this Resident Evil compared to the old game is that now you can parry attacks. So when a villager or an enemy hits you with a weapon, there is a time where you can parry them, and then from there you can melee attack them. So you can do Leon, basically he does a roundhouse kick or he does a forward kick. The interactions between the enemies is way more expanded, and I think that's what this game is going to be overall. It's Resident Evil 4, but it's expanded. It's fully realized. It's everything from the original, but taken to the next level. And it really does feel like a next generation Resident Evil 4. I mean, everything. And it's simple too. Like even trying to figure out the controls and everything like that didn't feel complicated. It didn't feel like hard at all, at least for me. Everything felt familiar. Like even though you're in this new place, everything still kind of seems familiar. And when you're in the village part, the village very much resembles the original game. Like everything is where it's kind of supposed to be, which was really interesting. There was some new parts to the village that were kind of new, or rather updated, but for the most part it just felt familiar, man. And even the parts that felt kind of different, because the very beginning of the demo is very different than the original beginning of the game, right, where you first go into that cabin and you run into one of the Ganados and he basically tells you to get the hell out of here. That kind of happens in this game. It very much is the same thing, except the Ganado doesn't really talk to you. He's kind of like praying. He's a lot more controlled by Las Plagas, which I actually loved a little bit more. Like the Ganados, the villagers, are way more sadistic. And again, that goes back to that they're expanding everything and that they're giving everything a bit more. They're just a little bit more of everything, and I loved it. But the gameplay was absolutely fantastic. It was fun parrying enemies. It was just fun navigating and dodging with Leon. And even though the gunplay can be a little bit uncomfortable at first, I think when we get the full game and you sort of expand some of the weapons and stuff, I reckon that the gunplay is going to feel a lot better. But the gunplay did feel really good. It didn't feel bad. It's just everything has weight to it. There's, you know, when you shoot someone, you can't just spam a shot. It takes some time before you can just shoot someone. Like when you pick up the shotgun, it takes a little bit of time to get another shot off. But the shotgun felt weighty. It felt like a shotgun when I shot someone. It obliterated Ganados and stuff. And I thought that was really cool, and that was really fun. And in terms of everything else about the demo, I mean, we had secrets. There were secrets in this game. You could find a secret weapon in this game, which is really cool, and also very, you know, consistent with all of the other demos, the recent demos that have been coming out from Resident Evil, right? Like RE2, well, even as back as RE7, right? When RE7 came out, and there was a few secrets in some of the demos and stuff. And I love that. I love when Capcom includes things like that, because it gives the demo a replayable factor. And I replayed this demo several times, on stream, off stream, and it was just really cool getting to see the community, get to see their experience with the game as well. So overall, it was a great demo, man, and it leaves me wanting more. And I think that's what any good demo does. It's when you play it, you're like, okay, I'm upset that this thing ended here. I want to play more of it because it's freaking awesome. It's literally better than it feels like already, just from that like 30, 20 to 30 minute demo, more or less, it already feels better than most of the OG game, which is, that's probably a crazy statement, but I don't know, man. It just feels like they figured it out. It feels like the devs who worked on this game in particular, I think they just figured it out, man. And I don't have tons of gripes with the game. I think there's really no gripes. Not really. Like, there's probably one thing which I wish the health items were expanded. And when I mean expanded, I mean like I wish you could put health items on shortcuts. I think that's probably the only thing I wish that they would improve on in the full game. It would be nice. And really, I'm asking for that because it means that the immersion, you don't stop the immersion. The action doesn't stop from you pausing. You can just like, oh snap, like I just lost some health, I can just quickly do this. But you have options. It's like, okay, no, I could pause this. I could pause it right now, just like the OG game. I could pause it, take a quick breather, figure out, okay, what should I do? Should I use the shotgun? Should I use the TMP? Should I use my sniper? Should I Should I use a grenade, a stun grenade, an incendiary? What should I use? But I think for some people, I think it would be cool just to have that option. Not just the weapons and like the melee items and stuff, but I think health items would be really cool too. Hardcore mode was fantastic. It was super tough. It was super difficult, which again sets up for replayable moments. I thought it was also really cool. And this was technically another secret. There is a code, or yeah, there's literally a code you can input to spawn the hardcore mode whenever you want. So at some point I was like, this is another gripe I have. Like, it sucks. Like, if I fail at hardcore, I can't do it anymore. Like, so that sort of left me disappointed. I have to keep starting the game and quitting, starting and quitting until it shows up. But you know, that problem has been solved. So listen, man, overall, I know I'm sort of rambling on, so bear with me. And if you've made it this far to the video, you are a lovely individual, and I love you so much. This demo was absolutely fantastic. It's one of my favorite demos of all time. And again, nothing is perfect. Obviously, everything has its flaws, but for me, there's very little flaws, if any. There's really none. It's a really fantastic demo. So much fun. And I really can't wait to play this game later this month and just play the heck out of it and just do everything imaginable with this game. And anyways, please don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe if you have been enjoying my RE4 remake videos lately. I'm going to be posting a lot of Resident Evil 4. This is basically going to become a Resident Evil 4 channel for quite some time. So if you are looking forward to that, please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all so much for the love and support. Until next time, my name is C4 Sages, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.